Hello, everybody. Today I'm looking at what I think is a triple A game. I've been told that this is god awful levels of I don't know how to actually describe this, but apparently this thing is as bad or if not worse than Golem. Now, for those of you who don't know, Golem is by far one of, I would say, the least attractive looking games that has ever been made for any console out there. I mean, I can understand back in the days of the PS2 and people made shitty looking games. It was because of, well, they were limited to the hardware and information wasn't so freely available as it is now on the internet in terms of development and things like that. You can become a game developer. I could become one. In fact, I'm actually learning about game development myself as a hobby. I've been learning about programming and I want to make myself a little pixel art JRPG indie game. So it sounds crazy, but that's a story for another time. Anyway, this is Skull Island Rise of Kong, official announcement trailer. Now, this is 4 days old. It's on IGN. I want to see this for myself. I've been hearing that this thing is extremely bad. So let's see what we get. Very 13-like looking lines. I could be wrong about it. Hey. This is a mobile game. There's no way this is a console game. This has to be a mobile game. I don't know. Oh, sorry. I should actually increase the quality of that. Ooh, doesn't look any better. It looks just as bad at 1080p. This is a mobile game. There's no way this is a console game. If this is on the PlayStation 5, they need to return it back to developer. This looks like a PS2 game that's been remastered or something. It looks like an early PlayStation 2 game where they've applied some sort of HD remastered patch or put this thing through an emulator. It's nasty. It's like this has to be like a cheap movie tie-in or something like that. I assume that this is probably like a really low budget title that hasn't gotten much attention. There's no way in hell this is a console game. I am 100% certain that this thing should be a mobile game. There's no way this thing is on console. Let's find out. Oh god, I can already see the thumbnail. No. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. This thing is made in Unreal Engine 5 probably, because I've been using Unreal Engine and I didn't even know this. Unreal Engine 4 is no longer available. If I log into my Epic account, I have to use Unreal Engine 5 and my PC is nowhere near powerful enough to support it. So I would assume that's maybe what's happened over here. Maybe these guys had like a low-end PC and they made this thing like in their garage for what they would think, or what I would think was supposed to be a mobile game. But get this. This thing is coming out for the Xbox. Doesn't say which ones, but I assume from Xbox One and up. Steam, PS4, PS5. So there's some cross-platform support there. Nintendo Switch. Either they've shown us the Nintendo Switch version, which I assume is the worst version in terms of graphical fidelity. Tongue twister there. In terms of graphical fidelity, it's probably the lowest spec one, I would assume. And the PS4 version. But the rest of this, it looks like some sort of PS2 game that was remastered with a fresh coat of paint and just like pushed onto newer modern hardware. This thing looks absolutely terrible, and I get that, yeah, YouTube compression and stuff doesn't do a good job with things, but if you look at Kong, this has to be, or it had to have started off as a mobile game. And then somehow people were like, I think it's good enough to ship on consoles, or it's big enough to ship on consoles. Let's do it. It kind of looks like Borderlands in terms of its graphic style or art style. but like a really low budget looking kind of game. It's definitely not something that was given a lot of attention to detail and care, unless this is all everything that we see from here is from a beta build of the game where they still have to polish it up and add other kind of things inside. Like nowhere in this video did I see it stipulating what version it is we're looking at. So I'm going to take it for granted that this is the Nintendo Switch version, which I assume should be the worst looking version of the lot. Now, if this is what it looks like on PS5, I advise that nobody buy this game. Please do not fall into that trap of buying bad games. It only just sets a bad precedent. For all we know, this might have even cost them next to nothing to make. They could have, I don't know, made this in some sort of sweatshop, paid the guys pennies per the hour, and shipped this thing off. Even if they sell like only like 10,000 copies of this game, chances are they might be making their money back with the way this thing looks. I'm curious to find out what kind of budget this thing had. Unleash your fury. Look at this animation. This thing looks like it's straight out of a mobile game ad. I remember when I was a kid and we would get like these low budget games on like PS2. They always had these like janky animations, which this seems to have. It always had these weird art styles and everything was just like stiff. Look at this guy's animation, right? He does like this tackle maneuver somewhere here. Where is this thing? Like this shoulder tackle that he does. Come on, where the... I think it's here. Look at that. What the hell was that? Even I have to know. Wait a minute. Skull Island 1997, Skull Island 2017. Okay, no. License from DeVito Artworks, LLC, 2023. So, this game comes out this year, I would think? I don't know. Microsoft Xbox VMX, Series X, Xbox Series S, XS. Okay, so nowhere in here does it say one. So I assume that it's not for the Xbox One, but maybe it is. This looks like an indie game, but like a really bad looking one. One where they like put a studio of guys together, gave them no money, and told them to use whatever assets and resources that the studio has already on these PCs and just put it together and send it out. Like I've seen some indie games where people have made these things probably at home, I assume. I don't know. They don't have like an official studio. They don't have these big budgets behind them. And they don't have these established IPs. And I've seen them do a better job. If you go to like itch.io, you will find some indie games that will probably just melt your brain or your eyeballs in the sense of how good they actually are. So my advice to you is rather go to itch.io or even Indie Gala, one of my favorite places to go for indie games. I really love indie games as of late. They've just been absolutely amazing. They've been giving like this attention to detail and love to gaming to the point where you feel like it's games made by gamers for gamers. Whereas this just feels like it's supposed to be like some sort of soulless cash grab. As if though it's supposed to be some sort of mobile game that was then shipped off onto consoles because they think they're going to make more money that way. And if they released it on mobile, chances are even if it were free to play, people would have probably roasted this thing and had all sorts of issues with it. I'm already expecting this thing to have like a massive day one patch bigger than the game itself. I mean, some of the environments even look terrible. Let's have a look over here. It looks like these things are just overlapping in some areas. Let me just see. There's a segment here that I see. Have a look at this over here versus that. The way this is designed, it looks like it's very low polygons. Like the polygon count is low. Everything looks like murky. The animations are terrible. It looks like some sort of frame stuttering. I don't know. And then that stomp on the face. I'm pretty sure that's like the Dante from Devil May Cry 3 stomp when he kicks the camera down and then steps on it. So this is by far one of the worst looking games I've seen aside from Gollum in 2023. And I think the most shocking thing is that this game is coming out on modern day consoles. That's where it's shocking you the most. If this was a mobile game, it would have probably got a pass. It probably would have been crapped on, but people would at the end of the day been like, look, it's just a mobile game. Leave it where it is. You know that those things tend to be more hit or misses, or more misses than hits, because there's obviously a lower budget put into that. They wanted to get it running on every single device under the sun so they can monetize it and push adverts into it. But the fact that this is on a PS5, that is insane. It's not worth the storage space. It is not worth the storage space. I'm going to leave this video over here. This has got to be one of the worst looking things I've seen this year, aside from Gollum. And let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you hated it. And let me know what you think of this Kong over here. He looks... Yee. Things are looking pretty rough. Pretty rough. The art style, in fact, kind of reminds me of Fist of the North Star on PS4, but like a lower budget version of that. I don't know. I'm not sold on this. Anyway, I'm out. See you in the next video, everybody. Goodbye.